Hey everybody, this is Clintleetwood, and I'm here with another replay review. This is coming from a player by the name of G, who was one of my first comments on YouTube, and is also sent me a message in the Mechabellum official Discord asking for a replay review about what he could do better. Let's see exactly what the ask was. I got literally destroyed. I've tried to replay and analyze how I could have solved the problem, but there's no way I can invert the trend. Any advice would be welcome. Sure, let's take a look at what's going on, but first let's set the stage. My name's Clintleetwood. I hover around the lower 1800s to mid 1800s. I'm a top 100 501 player. If you haven't watched one of these videos before, it's going to be a sort of one-take, unedited, long-form dialogue with myself as I'm stepping through the replay as a whole. It's going to be a lot of stream of consciousness stuff, and at the end I'll go through a couple important turns and see if we can figure some stuff out. So our protagonist here, G, looks like there might be a replay bug because you're missing some HP here. Is Marksman Spec versus Don as Elite Spec with Ball Crawler, and we are Marksman Sledge. Just initial first impressions, we're going to be in a tough spot if he goes very aggressive. So if he overloads either this side, or even just like he does symmetrical aggro on either side, it's going to be a little tough from us to stabilize. Especially because these level 2 crawlers are incredibly difficult to deal with early on. So typically, right, what I would think of in the first rounds is like vertical fangs here and here to hopefully try to draw everything in from the sides, and with vertical sledges for chaff clear and marksman backing them up. Let's see how this goes. Yep, it looks like he's just overloading the middle, or right in the middle. I think these should be vertical. The main reason why is that they aggro things differently, and the way the steel balls come into this is a little different. They'll have multiple focusing on one, as opposed to spreading out across this field a bit. The other thing, right, is that horizontal sledges, and we can demonstrate this in the replay here, when they go to shoot this pack of crawlers in front of them, they will target the same one. So we had 3 sledgehammers there shoot this crawler. So that's not ideal, right? We don't want that to happen, and that changes drastically, right, when the sledgehammers are in a vertical position, because the first sledgehammer will lock on, fire, and then the second one will come into range and fire, and so on and so forth with the third, fourth, and fifth. So yeah, there's a lot of pressure here. We're gonna win the left side though, if I'm not mistaken. This right side, that might be a bit of a problem here. So round 1, we're gonna say, let's look at vertical positioning of crawlers and sledgehammers and see if that changes much of the round. I suspect it probably won't change much. This is just a lot of pressure coming up from your opponent, and your army's split up pretty heavily here, so it's going to be a little hard to rebound. Yep, and probably see multiple levels here, which is not very good for us early on. Okay, unit drop round 2. That's potentially very fortunate for us. Just initial first impressions, right? We could potentially pick this Wraith and try to auto-win the round, right? We have nothing that shoots up currently, so that is worth considering. This is like maybe a temporary stopgap just to alleviate some bleeding, so to speak, and allow us to scale out. So the way to think about this, right, is that early on, the spec is very strong because they get to drop level 2 chaff, level 2 marksman, level 2 steel balls. So their strong points are rounds 1 through 4 essentially. And as we enter into the mid game, rounds 5 through 7, 8, so on and so forth, somewhere in that range, 5 to 8 is usually about the mid game in my mind. The money isn't quite there for the elite player to afford giants and push with giants, but the other player can. So elite is very strong at the beginning of the game and at the end of the game when money is exuberant and everywhere, and you can you can afford level 2 giants, but really start to falter in the mid game. So your goal against an elite player like this is just to survive the first couple rounds. If you can even take a round and have them fall behind, because right, if we, for example, right, if he goes like more steel balls and we end up wiping this pack and maybe saving a group of sledgehammers, we get a level and suddenly the playing field is even between us. So outside of the Wraith as a play here, I think the Mustangs have a lot of merit here. I think Mustangs, like right here, would be massive. One, they would trade okay into these crawlers, but also it's a lot of chaff for these steel balls to get through, right? So that's maybe something worth considering. And I think the other one worth considering here is Arclight, right? If we had Critical Fangs here, we could go Arclight, Arclight, and as these crawlers kind of funnel in, we get to clear out them very efficiently, leaving the steel balls to clear out the chaff, and they're not good at doing that, right? But let's see what you end up taking here. Okay, cool. We go for Wraith. I think that's correct. This person goes for Tarantula. And they go for Crawlers. No flank from your opponent. So double crawlers. So we are going to win the first round, the second round, which is a big deal here. It's a really massive deal, right? Because next round we can sell this off, and we have another 300 to bank in to do whatever we need to. But I have a feeling this is still going to go pretty poorly for us here. Yeah, we just don't have the chaff clear. Yeah, the steel balls get in again. But this Wraith gets a pretty healthy dose of experience. And it levels. Okay, that's pretty massive. If your opponent goes and you both go for nano. Yeah, you nano this. This is so smart. This is very hard to kill. These will not do it, I don't think. It'll take a very long time for these guys to whittle through this. Could be wrong, though. Oh, no, they are actually going to get through. This looks a little better for us. Oh, it's so close. We almost stabilize here. But this is seriously not the worst loss for round 3 here. I think Missile Strike is correct here. What did we end up taking? Senior Attack. I think this is a mistake. This is a lot of money. Round 4. I think I understand your intention here, though, which is to try to even the playing field. But I think we just don't have any money to play with here to try and survive, and we need to be surviving these rounds. We could Missile Strike here instead, so I'm gonna say that round 4, Missile Strike. Let me go for Scorpion. I think I would have liked to have seen the Scorpion over here. It looks like, because if we look at like the open space or the negative space I like to talk about, there's a lot of open space over here, and there's units in that corridor, right? And there's not much here protecting it. However, if you look over here, right, this is I would say well defended, right? We have everything kind of, we have some amount of stuff to hold this. This missile is pretty brutal though, and we need to be playing around it, right? This is almost going to kill. Sorry, excuse me. This is almost going to kill our sledgehammers, and it will kill our marksmen, which means that this side is even more vulnerable. So, just like looking at the game right now, it looks like you're trying to headbutt the middle, and I don't think the middle is the problem, right? I think the right is what's usually going and collapsing first. I think these raids have outlived their purpose as well. This person clicked this tech, so at this point, right, we can start to sell off these wraiths, and we can tech our marksmen in response. And we are ahead, technically, right? Because this is a dead tech not doing anything, and our marksmen that have a tech that is doing something. What could we add on to our marksmen? There's nothing really here that's great for us. But we could go like Mechanical Rage on our sledgehammers, for example, and that would be pretty decent. And it would help with our chaff clear issues. But yeah, once again, the right side falls first, and then everything kind of goes to hell after that. This is a lot of damage now, unfortunately. Okay. We go for Sabertooth. Are we selling this? Okay, Mech Rage. Nice. Yeah, we're reinforcing the left again. We're not playing to this middle, which keeps collapsing. We either need to be leveling this tower or building up stuff over here. Not sure what the Sabertooth is doing. I think this just dies to steel balls. Yeah, this is the really difficult part about playing against Elite, is that they can hit you with this anytime they want, and it's basically the round for them. Oh, I mean, the Sabertooth's holding. Here come the crawlers. Oh no. It looks like we might be on death's story here, huh? Yeah, Don goes for Underground Threat, which allows him to click this button whenever he wants, and the game can basically end at any point now. Yeah, that makes sense. He's probably going to put it back here, maybe over here. Do it over here. Does it here. Does he click Replicate as well? Put a note in here real quick. Sorry. Do we end up clicking Rapid Resupply? And we float 300 credits. Yeah, it looks like you're under a lot of pressure here and you're not quite sure what to do. This could help. Some shields might be able to slow down some of the push. I think we could even missile here. You would catch these balls and slow him down a little bit. That's so close to holding. Oh, it actually does hold, but we're gonna lose this side? Oh, that sucks. It was really, really close to holding. Okay, we got some stuff we can work on here. So let's take a little look in this beautiful little replay system. I want to look at your round one. I don't agree with your deployments. So let's take a second here and try to figure this out. I think you agree. I think we both agree that Fangs was the right call. But what I like to do is three spaces up from the tower. The beauty of this kind of positioning, right, is that it perfectly snugly fits in another Fang, which is pretty helpful. But also we can put Stormcallers back here, and it's just a really solid defensive position. It's very hard for another person to crack. It's also what you'll see a lot of people do, right, is they'll put like Stormcallers here or here, and you know, a flank over here ruins them. Mobile beacon crawlers here to here, right, back and forth, ruins this kind of positioning. So you know, it's very hard. I feel, and I've encountered that it's hard to exploit this sort of positioning with Stormcallers. But that's neither here nor there. We're not playing with Stormcallers here. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go something like this and see if this holds. This is me not operating with perfect information, right? Because we know that they're going to do a large spread out line like this, but we're just trying to see how much better this does or if it wins, right? Chances are it probably is going to win. What's probably going to happen, right, is that these crawlers get in on the tower and things get a little dicey after that. But what's good here, right, is that you can see these steel balls, all three are focusing on one target. But what might end up happening here is that we might have just enough to hopefully catch what's coming in. Yeah, and unfortunately, our marksmen are targeting the wrong stuff. So, like, pretty similar here, right? Let's see if we can actually manufacture a winning position here, though. Go back to the battlefield. Let's return back to here, back here. And now we're gonna operate with like perfect information, right? We know he's gonna push on the right side. I just want to show how strong these sort of defensive tools can be, right? Because if we don't get them on round one, and if we don't win on round one, we can try to win on round two, right? So let's try. Yeah, cool. So we know he's gonna go like blue balls here, and other stuff. So I think what we're gonna try to do is something like this. Let's see if we can actually manage to hold here. You can see how much better these are at chaff clearing now. And look, the balls are stuck on fangs. I think we're still gonna end up getting cracked here. Oh man, it's so close, huh? Yeah, so, but you can kind of see what I'm talking about, right? How long it takes for his units to churn through these fangs because he doesn't have efficient chaff clearing. And while we don't necessarily either, this is a much better chaff clearing tool than, say, this. So let's play back round 4. I called out, I think Missile Strike was the correct call. So let's see if we can manufacture something there as well. Okay. Let's take over for you. I said Missile Strike. And here's what I was mentioning earlier, right? We talked about how this tech kind of invalidates our wraiths. Well, cool. So sell out of them, right? I think so. Here would probably be good. Now, what do we want to do? We are marksmen. So we are having issues on this side. Personally, right, if I saw Missile Strike, I'm anticipating this getting missiled pretty heavily. This or this getting missiled pretty heavily. So I am going to shield both sides. And I think we can probably do something like this. Probably end up holding the ground. Gonna hold. Maybe. Oh, it's so close. No! Stop him! Oh. That's brutal. I think we end up still winning, though. Yeah, okay. So there you go, right? Let's see how that goes if we don't shield, right? We probably end up losing pretty bad, but let's just see how it goes. Here's another thing that we can do, right? I wrote down here, I believe we can missile the balls behind the tarantula. So let's try that this round and see if we can, it's round 4. Let's take over for you. High panel, G, yes please. I'm gonna take Missile Strike. I think we just missile this, and then we missile like so, and we missile like so, and we missile like so. I still think selling this is correct, and I want to also click Mech Rage. This is like probably just fine if we do this again. This, I think I want to reinforce the right just a little. No, let's play it the same way we did previously. And then, I don't know, we can... nano these guys. Take this level. Yeah, so we've slowed these balls down. We allow our sledgehammers to kill all the chaff off, which means these balls are late to the party, right? And it's taking them a lot of time to trudge through all of this. We're about to crack in the middle. We're about to lose the right. But that might be okay. It's hard to say. Okay. But you can see how much closer that was than the game, in the round of your game, right? The intention here being, this positioning here is exploitable. When positioning units and to not have units get affected by missiles in their splash, I believe the rule of thumb is 3 whole tiles. This is, I think, only 1, maybe 2. So we can slow the push down with missiles. And remember, right, I mentioned that Elite Specialist is very strong in the early game, but start to falter in the middle game. Our goal is to survive the early game. Missiles are a tool to survive the early game. Shields are a tool to survive the early game. Someone might say, well, that's, you might be hurting your economy, and that's somewhat true. But against a specialist as inflexible as Elite Specialist, it's a powerful tool to allow you to scale into things that matter more, right? Because at the end of the day, if we had enough money in the later rounds to go like ranged fort with launcher overload, this board folds completely. And I wonder if I can demonstrate that in round 6. 1 second. One more quick little test here, because I love this new little replay feature. It's so nice. It's so nice. And I think it's a really powerful tool to help people learn. So we're gonna skip, right? We're gonna go to round 6. I'm gonna take over view. I think taking underground thread is a must here, so I'm gonna do that. What I'm gonna end up doing is I'm going to sell off this. I'm going to missile this and this. I'm going to unlock fort. And I'm going to click range. Oh, we don't run launcher overload. Oh. Okay, well that plan kind of doesn't work then. All right, maybe we can manufacture something still here. This looks good for us. Yeah. Oh my god. We hit this guy for 1,000,000 here. So yeah, I hope that kind of helps, right? And the idea that I want to like incentivize upon you, that we also have the sticky oil bomb in the tower, right? We have a lot of ways to slow down pushes in this game. We could, for example, sticky oil bomb here, missile, and his push is dead. And it allows our stuff to do the work it needs to do, right? Because we just hit him for 2,100. We have 2 rounds like that, the guy's probably dead or on death's door, right? And then the pressure is on them. The pressure is on them to come up with an answer and for them to come up with a way to not die. So, yeah, I hope this helps. What I would say as well is try to understand the differences between like vertical positioning and horizontal positioning. And I can give you a little quick rule of thumb. If you need the unit to do DPS, you want it to be horizontal. If you need it to chaff clear, you want it vertical. So, yeah. What else can we offer here? Don't be afraid to utilize field recovery. Don't be afraid to click this button if you feel like you're about to die. Don't be afraid to click enhance range. We could have sold this off, sold both of these off, right? Made this tech completely worthless. and begun to check our own stuff, right? We could click Elite Marksman, take these levels, and we have a lot more damage on the board. Cool. G, that's all I have for you. So yeah, in short, you know, utilize oil, utilize missiles, understand and abuse positioning here, understand and abuse this ability when someone has teched a counter tech to you, and yeah, I think you can manufacture a lot of winning scenarios from that position. Cool. Well, thank you all for watching the video. I deeply appreciate it. Do the whole YouTube thing, you know, like, comment, subscribe. And if you have a desire to watch me on Twitch whenever I start streaming again, give me a follow over on twitch.tv/Clintleetwood. Outside of that, that's all for me on this video. Thanks. Bye.